Hey guys, we're back with the WattCycle 12V 628Ah lithium iron phosphate battery. You may remember in a previous video I tried to discharge this battery at 260 amps and my inverter ended up self-destructing. I have a new inverter now and this one is not junk. This is a 4000 watt split phase low frequency inverter from SunGoldPower. This thing is expensive, it's heavy, but it's a tank. You can run these things all day long at 100% rated capacity and it won't skip a beat. Let's take a quick look at this inverter and then we'll run at least one test of this battery, probably two depending on how that first test goes. The goal here is to see if this battery can handle a nearly 300 amp continuous discharge or if it's going to overheat again. This is a low frequency inverter, meaning it has a massive transformer and is the reason why it weighs over 70 pounds. And I already have it ready for battery testing. So I've got some large 4/0 gauge conductors here. I have a Victron BMV 700 shunt. I have a 350 amp class T fuse here for safety. The left side of the inverter is where the battery cables come in. I try to keep everything neat and organized there. The right side of the inverter has the AC output there. This is a split phase 120/240 inverter. And I use some 12-4 cable here to wire that to a receptacle box. I have two 20 amp outlets, one on leg 1 and one on leg 2. Now aside from the cost and the weight of this inverter, there is one reason I didn't look at these originally, and that is the low voltage cutoff. The lowest this inverter will operate is 10 volts, and sometimes these batteries go below 10 volts, in addition to considering the losses in these cables. I do expect this inverter to shut down before the BMS in this battery does. However, it should still give us a reasonable capacity value. And the purpose of this test is more so to see if the battery can handle the current. All right, we are ready to go. So the inverter's there on the left, the battery is on the right, battery's fully charged. There's my Victron display zeroed out. That is 245 amps, which is right around where the original test was. So we'll just leave this run and we'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes. We are right at the half-hour point of this test here. We're discharging at 244 amps. We've discharged 135 amp hours so far, and our BMS temperature, the MOSFET sensor, is sitting at 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Taking a look at the thermal camera, I don't really see any noticeable hotspots on this battery. It actually looks pretty good, which was consistent with our original testing. If we try to take a look down at the BMS, it looks like the terminals on the BMS are sitting at 128 degrees Fahrenheit there, 126. We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes and the test is still running. We are pulling 248 amps there. So we've pulled 501 amp hours from the battery and our hottest temperature is sitting at 137 degrees on the MOSFET temperature sensor. Taking a look at the battery itself, we're still seeing peak temperatures around 85 to 86 or so degrees in there. But the hottest part is definitely in the front where the BMS is. So this is looking down at the side of the BMS here, and the hottest temperature I'm seeing is 119 degrees. 119 degrees on the screw terminal. So that's the main negative post at 116 degrees. And here we have the positive lead to the positive post. A little bit cooler. It looks like that's peaking around 112 degrees. So there's not too much to see in here. Everything looks pretty good. The test completed successfully and the resulting capacity was 659 amp hours. The BMS reached temperatures of 145 degrees Fahrenheit on the MOSFET temperature sensor. It doesn't appear the shutdown is triggered by that sensor in particular, considering it is programmed for a 140 degrees Fahrenheit max discharge temperature. The battery is fully charged again, so we're going to run one more test and push it as close to 300 amps as we can. During the first test, the temperature seemed to hold steady in the 130s until near the end of the test when it started to quickly rise. All right, we're 30 minutes in, we're at 298 amps. 155 amp hours discharged so far. Our temperatures are sitting at 156 degrees on the MOSFET temperature sensor and 134 degrees on the environmental temperature sensor. 1 hour and 1 minute, we're at 296 amps. 305 amp hours discharged so far, and the temperatures are reading 166 on the MOSFETs and 144 on the ENV sensor. And the test finished successfully. As the voltage began to drop near the end of the test, the current started to increase as we expected, and we actually ended up tripping the overcurrent protection of the BMS at 310 amps. The MOSFET sensor was reading 168 degrees Fahrenheit, and the ENV sensor was reading 148 degrees Fahrenheit. So the next question then is, if this is programmed for 140 degrees Fahrenheit, why did it not shut down? So I reached out to WattCycle for clarification on this, and they explained that the 140-degree temperature protection is specifically for the cells themselves. That is sensors T1 through T4. The over temperature protection for the MOSFETs is 221 degrees Fahrenheit. So everything we were seeing was perfectly normal and still within the expected operating specifications. But I still want to make sure the over temperature protection on this battery works. So let's get out the heat gun. I've got one of the battery sensors pulled off. This is T2 specifically. All right, and it did shut down. We're at 153 degrees there. So the alerts we got are charge and discharge over temp protection and charge and discharge over temp alarm. Next, I'll aim the heat gun down on the BMS here and see if we can get the environmental sensor to trip. All right, it shut down right around 197. The alerts are ENV over temp protection and ENV over temp alarm. All right, so clearly everything is working exactly as it should. This battery can indeed handle a 300 amp continuous discharge. However, I do have to wonder if you need 300 amps continuous, why you're using a 12 volt system and not looking at a 24 or a 48 volt system. Guys, as I said in the initial video, this is a fantastic battery at a fantastic price. I will leave a link to this battery down in the video description along with any discount codes I can find. I would appreciate your feedback as always. Give this video a thumbs up before you go, and thanks for watching.